All right, well, let's just dive in. I simply want to start with this. It's great to speak to you. It is a pleasure, particularly this period of time when so much and so many exciting things are happening. So, begin with, let's just check in. How are you? And so far, we're almost 2 weeks into the new year. How's it been treating you? Okay.
It's been amazing, mate. It's been really busy. If we're gonna go from the music aspect, it's been pretty non-stop. So, we ended the year on a massive high. So we played our first ever headliner show and we sold it out. Um, and we were like, don't get me wrong, we had a feeling it was gonna sell out, but like when you're in front of that many people on a stage, considering we only released back in April last year, it's a bit sort of like everyone singing the song. I was just gobsmacked. There was a part in like the second song, and I was just looked at everyone and I was like, this is incredible. I had a big grin on my
Yeah.
face. And after the set, my partner said, you just look so happy on stage. I was like, I don't know what I felt it, but it was amazing. So, but yeah, it's been great so far. Like I say, we've been non-stop. So beginning of the year, what I decided to do with the boys was like get a plan together, like what our release schedule is going to be like, because we want to be on top of everything and we just
Yeah.
want to keep that momentum going, don't we? So
What about the New Year's resolutions? Are you the type to do that, either personal or even ones that necessarily relate to the band?
not personal ones. No, I give up on doing them when I realized how lazy I was. Um, but for bands, in this band, for example, we also, well, I've set my brain on being like, I want to make this as successful as possible this year. And the first couple of months were, I don't want to say rocky because they weren't rocky, but they were sort of a position of being like, how do we get to where we want to be? And since signing with Year of the Rat and James has helped us massively, is sort of directing us to how we sort of need to be and the best way to become ourselves.
Mm.
And then now that we're at that point of the new year and it's been so many months since, we can now tackle it with a fresh perspective. We kind of know what we need to do and how we can do it. So yeah, it's kind of down that route, I would say.
Okay, so like it has been an incredible whirlwind year, so to speak. Like to the point where I find it hard to believe that you've actually been able to come down to earth to a degree. Obviously, you're still enjoying the high.
Yeah.
What you've had to force yourselves to actually refocus and make this clear plan. Otherwise, would you still be kind of like Cloud9 kind of situation?
Oh no, absolutely not. Because so bit of a hidden secret. We've
Mm.
got about 10 songs in the backlog ready to go. So
Right.
we're constantly, so the example on Wednesday, we're actually meeting up again to write more songs. So the ball has never actually stopped. We had that little week or two period of being like, wow, this is incredible. Obviously doing that sold out headline show and then being like, right, back to square one now. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's just not stop. Let's not take that foot off the pedal and just keep going. Um, so yeah, no, it's just been constant to be fair, but in a good way. It's kept me busy and it's kept me happy. So it's best of both worlds.
That's it, yeah, isn't it? If it's keeping you happy, if it's making you happy, that's the most important thing of all. 2024 was an incredible year
Yeah.
overall. Aside from that sold out show, do you have any other particular highlights?
Oh, pretty much every show that we've played. Because I
Yeah.
just like some of the names that we played with, for example, Defects was one
Yeah.
of our first big shows. They are absolutely incredible. I think they went on
Oh,
then to play Download and things like that. And, they were just incredible bunch of lads as well. Um, Played with a band called obviously Cut Short and then In Death as well. Yeah, it's just been every show that we've kind of done has just kind of been incredible. And then watching the reaction to all of our songs as well has been outstanding because we released Mixed Signals, our first song back in the April,
yeah.
had an incredible reaction, got us this record deal with Year of the Rat, got us the Radio One plays. And again, that's another thing. Like I think there's so many things that I can just touch on for being a band for the first time and only being around for like 9, 10 months is like
Mm.
the amount of radio. Every one of our songs has been on Radio One. Um, Alex Holcomb and the BBC introducing Lancaster Cumbria's team just keep putting our songs on because they
Yeah.
enjoy them. It's just everything we've done has just been a bit sort of like eye opening and being like, you know what, we're getting this reception. Let's keep this going. So it's been crazy.
It's just one constant highlight, which is simply fabulous, isn't it? But of course, it is all about the future, and exciting things are happening right now. We are obviously in the build period to the much anticipated release of your brand new single, Red Lights. It's January 24th, so super, super important. Sum up briefly, if you can, what listeners can expect from this latest piece of music.
Something very different, very
Yeah?
different. Oh yeah. The beauty of it is we have so much creative freedom. So the labels come on and they've not said, change anything. They've kind of just said, you do you. We like what you've got. You just keep doing you. And we've made a song that is just so Brandon, the guitarist, the other vocalist, he refers to it as being a sexy song. So prepare for sexy, I suppose.
Sexy, good choice of words. Now, I have actually heard this. In fact, I was listening to this today before this interview. It is a banger. It is different, as you said, and I think that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be fascinating to see the reaction to this particular track as well. For those that have been following him from the start, I do think it's not going to polarize, or anybody who listens to it is going to be like, oh my God, you're so crazily different, and what the hell is
Oh,
this? All the elements are there. But it shows to me more creativity. It shows that you guys clearly have a lot more bows to your strings to your bows. Strings to your bows. That's what it is.
yes.
But I also suspect, right, that the listener base, the ones that have been there from the start, actually already know this. E.g., you built up enough of a fan base and confidence in you that they will go into this expecting good things. Vision, though, when this particular track, did you have a clear vision of what you wanted this to be, and how did this come about?
With this song, again, it's weird how we do the writing process because
Mm.
we don't go into it thinking, oh, I want to write about this. I want to write. We just sort of sit there, play around with some maybe synths, strings, guitar, just whatever we fancy in that moment. And then it just kind of develops from there. And then obviously the lyrics then come from either a personal place or they come from experiences. But the actual musical aspect, it very much does come from, let's just play around with that, see what happens. And then there we go.
And I love that. But you must have some lines in the sand, so to speak. So, right, okay, so it's an open field and anything goes, right? And you're playing around with stuff, but there will be times where it's like, nah, we can't have that, or we can't use that, or this isn't going to work because it isn't quite us. Where are those lines in regards to you guys and around this sort of specific song? Did you have moments where you were playing around, you thought that's just not going to work?
I'm not gonna lie to you, no. And the reason I say that is because we also have written a song which won't be out for a while yet that sounds
Okay.
very 1975. And I know that sounds strange, but we've got, and then we add the elements that we've got to it as well, the screams, the DJ scratches, things like that. But like we've got so many ideas in our head that we just go, just put it together, see what happens. Like just see it, just do it. Like for example, we've just got again another secret I probably shouldn't mention, but I'm doing it. No one can stop me. We've got another song coming out after this one, of course. This is the one we really want to focus on now, but we've just got the mix back from the next one. And that one again, that's a completely different change as well. There's elements in that you listen to and you think, "Ooh, that's spicy. That's different." So yeah, it's just I don't know. We just
Expect the
like mashing
unexpected.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, expect the unexpected and mash it together. See what happens.
I don't think any of this is a secret, though. I think everybody would expect you to have either songs in the work or songs planned throughout this year. It'd almost be
Mm.
a shock if you didn't. Ultimately, you're obviously very early on, so the creative juices are no doubt absolutely flowing to such a degree. But of course, you continue to grow day by day, week by week, month by month as artists personally as well. So I don't think it's too much of a surprise that this stuff is coming. It's great that it is. It's great to hear that it is, particularly as I think there's a confidence in your sound now, which is really interesting to me because it's almost listening to this new track. Oh, this is a band that has an album or two out already, but obviously that is not the case. Confidence is there. I think it's notable. Is that something that's always been in place for you as a group, or is it something that continues to grow now?
Continues to grow. Yeah. I mean, I personally, my own opinion is if you unless you're an established musician or you know exactly what you want to achieve, confidence, just like in life, is always going to be sort of hard to come by naturally.
Mm.
Um, so the more we write and the more we get comfortable with each other, the more confidence we can put into our songs. And as you quite rightly stated, there is that the one that's going to be releasing Red Lights on the 24th is the beauty of it is that how confident we now seem from where we first started, and you can see that growth personally, anyway, from what I think.
How much of that confidence is that growth is coming from the response, though? So, I mean, obviously, it's important that people like your music, but ultimately, that you like it is the most important thing of all. Do you take a lot of heart and confidence from people reacting and loving what you're doing at this point?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, no, it's great. I mean, obviously we write the songs for ourselves because we want that freedom, but in the same respect, the people that are listening to it and are putting us in this position, they're just as important too. So, as crazy as I was saying that we do change styles, I think we're picking up the right fans to, like you quite rightly said yourself, is that they will know to expect change and know to be like, oh, okay, yeah, not expecting it as such, but sort of like accepting of it is probably the best way. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
Accepting of it, absolutely. I like that. And obviously, reaction in the live shows is probably key more than anything else. I think it's all comments and messages and social media and all that's fantastic. And I hope you get loads and loads of that stuff. But a crowd going wild, that's where it at, isn't it?
Honestly. Yeah, my brain's still wanting to go back to the other week on the 28th when we played that show because I'm just, yeah, still speechless. I've still got pictures in my mind of just seeing. I couldn't really see anyone because it was like foggy and obviously because of the smoke machines and stuff, but it was nice to know people were there. I think they were there anyway.
Ticket sales matter the most. So talk to me then about you personally and your creative process. Everybody has their own way of doing things. And I want to know about yours. Do you have a particular process, say a mindset that you have to get into, a place you need to go to, so on and so on, that helps inspire you?
So from myself, I don't really know how to describe it with my own brain because I can
Hmm,
quite literally just be working away on a project at work and then I'll be listening to music and then I'll just have an idea. So I'll start typing it down and then I'll get carried away and then I'll start writing things up. So little things can just trigger these snowballing effect aspects in your brain. You know, I I think if you try and force it, that's one
hmm,
area where I do struggle. Unless I know we're going to work on a particular idea or a particular sound. So, for example, we've got some ideas we're going to work on Wednesday. Um, but if we went into that with an open blank, like a blank canvas as such, for me, that from my perspective, that could be quite difficult unless I've got
right.
something pre-ready to go, if that makes sense. But it's always beautiful being a musician and whatnot, and just a creative because you can sit there working and then something randomly will come to your head and you'll think, oh, okay, jot that down. Let's see what happens with that. It's an idea. No idea is a bad idea.
Well said. But are there particular areas that do inspire you more than anything else? And I mean, it could even be from your personal life, perhaps even simply the state of the world as it is and things around you. You say listening to music sometimes trigger stuff. What kind of things are we listening to?
Or at the minute, I'm absolutely loving a band called Mouth Culture. Don't know if you've give them a listen. They
Yeah, I know
are
them. Yeah.
fabulous. I caught them a couple of years ago and they played Gulliver's in Manchester. I don't think it was even sold out. Tiny room. They were just fabulous. Like his voice is just perfect.
Yeah.
And then since then, I think I've seen him like 10 times, like
Oh,
2000
wow.
trees and things like that. I was just like, yeah, these are brilliant. But yeah, they're a good starting point at the moment for me, and especially, and then obviously Architects is always one that I always go back to. I've been a fan of them since when they used to have what was the song called, the really old one, Buried at Sea, where it was
Hmm.
quite techy. And then from there, of course, the Hollow Crown album and things that I always gravitate back to those. So music
Even with
wise,
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but just
no, you
architects,
go ahead.
even with the even when the obviously the stylistic changes that have happened, you still would call yourself a big fan?
Oh yeah, I love them. I
Yeah,
can't
there it
really
is.
count how many times I've seen them. Been a fan since oh god, since well yeah, about 2000 and I don't want to get my dates wrong here, but I'm pretty sure 2010, 9, maybe earlier.
God damn.
If they were around since then, anyway, I could be lying.
Um, what else? What else kind of inspires you outside of music? Are you a film buff? Are you book reader, like comics, anything, gamer?
um, Gamer,
Yeah.
absolutely. Love my comics as well. Um, my tattoos are all Marvel inspired. So I've got like my right arm's got I don't know if I can get them out on camera here. It won't probably won't show as well, but I've got a big gambit part on my forearm. I've got just the reference. I've had it before he was put on Deadpool Wolverine, just for reference.
Oh,
That
for
was my first
sure.
time. Back
Well,
in, what was it, 2014, 15, I had that. So I'm just disclaimer.
I almost want to date you now and age you and see how far back you go. I presume Gambit is up there as one of your favorite within that world, yeah?
Absolutely. And it's got a bit of a weird backstory, actually. So as a kid, my granddad and my family used to give me just random comics, and you would read them as a kid, never really pay much attention to them, like Pokemon cards, you would have them and you wouldn't really care. You would care for them, but like if they got bent corners, you didn't really care. You were just like, I
Yeah.
got this though. Well, I used to have these comic books, and there was an X Men one that I used to love, and obviously the old X Men TV show as well. That was on Fox, if I remember. Um, and then I left. I must have left my comic books out, and I was staying at my nan and granddad's one weekend, and I woke up in the morning, come downstairs to have breakfast or whatever. Again, I was only young, and my granddad, an avid drawer, he left a drawing on the side next to my comic book, and it was a sketch of Gambit. And then since then, it kind of resonated with me in my head, just like that. That then sort of I drew this association. Was like, I like that character. Do you know what I mean? It's like because he drew it, I was like, oh, he's taking an interest, and that's a lot to me. And I don't know. Since then, he's just kind of been my favorite. So, and then obviously Spider Man is just everyone's favorite. So can't deny that.
I love that though, because on face value, people will see a tattoo in your arm, see Gambit, for example, and think, okay, cool, you like that character, or you're a Marvel fan, you're an X-Men fan, and so on. And then there's sometimes a much deeper or bigger story behind it that other people don't know because personal to you. I think it's one of the most interesting thing about tattoos and, people's bodies. Okay, yeah, we've all got one or two that mean basically nothing. And it's just a nice design, but it's the ones that have stories behind them that I love the most. Gaming, go back to that. You said you're a gamer because the G in GBHBL stands for games, and it's a big part of what we do. And we're always intrigued and always looking for an opportunity to talk more about it with people because it's such a wide ranging subject. So I'm just going to simply ask you this: what are you playing at the moment? What are you enjoying?
Enjoying's a hard word.
Okay.
um, I'm one of them where I really do love my story games. So obviously when the Marvel Spider-Man came out, I was all over it.
Yeah.
God of War games, they were absolutely fantastic. Um, at the moment, I'm struggling to get myself back into any sort of story games because I'm unfortunately in that cycle of playing FIFA at the moment, or EAFC is what they call it. I mean, I love my football, but that game is goddamn terrible, but I'm addicted to it. Um, and then, I mean, I always do find myself though re-downloading Mass Effect, the Mass Effect
Okay.
trilogy. Absolutely love them games, but I've only just finished playing the third one, so I can't go back to that one. And I won't lie, I didn't enjoy Andromeda. So there's that. Skyrim's one game that I will always come back to. The drummer in the band, actually, George, every couple of days he'll send me some Misk Skyrim meme, and I'll be like, got to download it again now, Anna. So,
It just that itch comes back and you want to scratch it again.
absolutely, it's. I think it's like the perfect game, though, really, isn't it? You can't.
Certainly up there. It's
Yeah,
certainly up there, isn't it? I
I
find it
think the
hard.
bugs
Like
make
I
it.
always want to argue with you, but I'm like, well, what would I say is better or yeah, and it's a struggle.
Like it can have its flaws,
Of course.
but that's the beauty in it, the imperfections. Like you can slip off a cliffside, and next thing you know, you're pinged halfway across the map, and you're like, "What the hell's going on?"
It's just funny.
Or
It's
the
just
old
funny. This
horse
is a bit of
glitch.
fun.
We used to climb up the side of a mountain with a horse, and then you'll just ping off somewhere, and it just be, I'll deal with that for days.
I feel like all of that is such an old game now that was patched to such a degree that all of that stuff's gone now. And it probably is. It's been a while since I've gone back to it, but it's probably near perfect, I would hope, these days.
No, probably not. But
All
how about
right,
yourself? Do you play much? Or
yeah, all over the place. Sometimes it's I'm actually a huge fan of story games as well, but I don't have a lot of time sometimes, so I tend to gravitate to indie games,
yeah.
small, short indie games, and I'm always on the lookout for fresh ones of them. Mainly, what am I playing at the moment? A game called Brotato, which is
Oh, okay.
like a bullet hell game. It's a bullet hell game. Do you know Vampire Survivors?
Heard of it? Never played it.
Yeah, it's sort of similar to that, but not as big or grand or anything like that. You're a potato,
Okay.
you equip weapons, and you kill everything on the screen and do it in waves and stuff like that. It's fun. It's an easy game to sort of just spend 40 minutes on, do a like a match thing, game mode, and yeah, lose a bit of time. Beyond that, the last big game. What was I playing the end of last year? Nope, can't think of any. Can't think of it. It's been a while since I played like the AAA, like the big sort of games.
Yeah.
Probably, the last one I sunk so much time into was probably Elden Ring. It was probably Elden Ring. That's the one I sunk the
Oh
most
yeah.
time into.
I never got into that one to be fair. Yeah, no, those type Dark Souls style type games aren't for me. I get to I lose my interest if I die, so I'll be like, "It's too hard for me." This.
No, I get that completely. It took me years. Like Dark Souls was, I think it was like Dark Souls 3 was out when I eventually went, I'm gonna play the first one and see what everybody's talking about. Thankfully, I did become addicted and love it and so on, that kind of thing. But it took me a very long time to get into it, and even now, that whole mindset that exists out there of, oh, you should just get good at it and you're the problem, not in this, all that. Get in the bin. That's rubbish. If you don't enjoy something, you shouldn't be, you don't have to force yourself to play it. Simple as that.
Well, it's like I started playing the new Dragon Ball game, Sparking Zero,
Okay.
Dragon Ball, and I thought I'm getting quite so beat 'em ups for me aren't the fighting games are one of them. But I'm never really good at, but I enjoy
Hmm.
them. So got that, absolutely love it. By the way, tried my hand at ranked. I don't think I've touched it
Smashed.
since.
Fabulous. Oh, I've been there. Absolutely. We're very similar in that. Don't really care for fighting games. Enjoyed a few, but the moment I go online, I think the last one I did was Mortal Kombat 10. And yeah, once you've been just decimated, it's like, well, I'm not going to be any good at this. I'll move on. Okay, let's go back to the music then. And I want to kind of focus particularly on what you've been doing recently. Obviously, the new single as well, but even looking ahead and you personally in regards to pushing yourself. And of course, you are continuing to grow as an artist. No doubt you're learning lots of new tricks and new things that you can do. Have you, in recent time, found that you're pushing yourself in ways that maybe you never expected or even planned?
Yeah, so for myself, for my own personal sort of growth, every day I'm constantly practicing, and my reason for that is I have never been a vocalist before.
Yep.
So when I joined this band, or when I say I joined, when we started the project, should I say,
Yep.
because there was two of them that were already sort of together, Adam and Brandon, the two guitarist singers. They were in an older band that are still active and doing quite well to an extent. And they thought, right, we want to do something different. Then I came along, and then we sort of made it what it is.
Yep.
Um, I used to be a bass player. Never sang, maybe just harmonies here and there. Could
Hmm.
scream a little bit, and then this band were just saying, we just need a vocalist, and I was like, I can scream a bit, but that's about it. And they were like, you'll be fine. And then when we come to do like a chorus for learning, I think it was Waiting Gold when we were writing that one. Brandon, the guitarist, was like, oh yeah, you can sing the chorus. I was like, good one. Nah, who's singing it? And they're like, no, you are. And I was like, oh right, okay. So, and then I just went for it. And at the first, I remember the first practice doing it. I was like, sing when you sing sort of under your breath and you're not trying to push and you're just kind of like, and they were just like, no, just go for it. And I was like, right. So I did it, and I was like, oh, right, I can actually do this.
Okay.
Um, and then so from there, like every day for me now is a learning curve because, like I say, I work from home. So not every day, but most days when I do work from home, I will be just practicing my vocals. I'll be listening to warm ups. I'll be looking at different techniques. I'll be sort of learning different ways to sort of control my voice. Like for example, about a couple of months ago, funny story, my friend asked me to go out, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? I'm not doing anything tonight. I can come out. It was like a Friday night.
Hmm.
Went to get in the shower, um, and I got into a little YouTube rabbit hole of learning throat singing. Um, I then didn't get in the shower because I was sat on the end of the bed just doing this throat singing technique. And 2 hours had passed, and he messaged me going, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, look, mate, I still need
I'm
a
so
shower.
sorry.
I've been doing this, and this." And he was like, "I'll just leave it for tonight." I was like, "Yeah, fair enough."
Incredible. How exciting. How fun is that? Like obviously it's work and there'll be highs and lows and where you achieve something, but other times where perhaps you don't quite hit it now. But like it must be so much fun, right?
Oh god, yeah, it's brilliant. Once you hit the nail on the head with a certain technique that you're trying to get down, it feels amazing. For example, fry screaming is one of the aspects of screaming that I've been I don't want to say struggling with. It was one
Ooh.
technique that I didn't master straight away. But once I got it on the head, if you've heard one of our songs called Bad Motives, that's got my fries screaming in. And I did it for the first time in that song, but that was when I actually was able to do it properly. And I
Wow.
was just like, I didn't know how to do that 3 weeks ago. Now I've got it on a track, and it sounds, in my opinion, it sounds great. So
You would never know you struggled.
yeah, exactly. It's a weird thing, but it's just a consistent practice and practice and practice.
God damn, what will you sound like? What will your abilities be in a year or two if you continue this way? It's kind of very,
I mean, if
very
they don't look after
interesting.
my voice, they might go. So
Well, you don't. Are you a smoker or anything like that? Any of the things you shouldn't really be doing?
no, no. I actually take really good care for my vocal hair. I've got nice little nebulizer here just to protect me whenever I need it and stuff like that. I'm always
God
taking
damn.
breaks and lemon ginger teas and things like that. So
From not doing vocals to like doing more than actual vocalists do to take care of yourself. Red lights. Obviously, one of the most important aspects is that when it's out, people are going to hear it and people are going to judge it and talk about it and offer their insight to you. What do you hope listeners take away from it?
I honestly hope that they can just have fun. I
Yeah.
hope it's one of them songs that they listen to and go, "Oh, this is cool." You know, again, I like the reactions of other people. Bit narcissistic, unfortunately, but I like to see the fact that we've wrote something and people can sing along to. It's just a nice feeling, something that we've created that can give people joy. I think that's the main goal, isn't it? People just singing back and enjoying it as a whole. So that's the main aim.
Well, thankfully, it looks like you're going to have an opportunity pretty soon because looking forward, it's not just a new single, of course, that has reason to be excited. On January the 31st in Manchester, you're part of a bill supporting the mighty, mighty Defences.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty cool, right? Looking forward to that?
Oh, absolutely. They reached out to us
Yeah.
when they were organizing the tour, and straight away I seen it, and I was like, "No, this can't be the Defences. This can't be them." And I double checked, and it was. And then they've just dropped their album as well back in
Mhm.
November, and you've probably heard it, I'm assuming, but it's
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, so it's one of those being in the position that we're in and releasing these songs. That's another caveat, is a good caveat, should I say, is if the songs take well, we can get more opportunities. And to be able to work and play with these other bands is just a fantastic opportunity. So I just want to give it a big shout out now to Defenses for giving us the opportunity whilst we're on this call here. So yeah, honestly, it's something I'm really looking forward to.
It is fantastic you have that opportunity and they've given it to you, but let's not ever understate the most important thing, you earning slots like this. Bigger and better things definitely seem to be on the cards as well as we move forward. You've mentioned obviously music going forward. Without going into too much detail, because A, you probably can't, but also, you don't need to. 2025, I think it's looking like it's going to be 2024 was crazy, but it looks like 2025 is going to be even crazier. Am I in the right ballpark?
I would say so, yeah, because
Yeah.
like I say, we've got some absolute cracking songs lined up. It's just going to be a full year of development for us all as well. So it's consistent releases, consistent change, consistent music. That's just that's where we want to go, what we want to do. So
And as far as live's concerned, opportunities that come up, you pretty much would take anything within reason, of course, but anything comes your way, you're going to want to do or look to do, right?
oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of it is, we don't see ourselves as being this massive band where we can't play these small venues and stuff like that.
Mm.
We want to play for as many people as we can, whenever we can. Any opportunity that comes up, we'll more than happily do it. So at the minute, of course, it is only Defenses.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we are also just concentrating on finalizing the next set of songs that are coming out. And if opportunities do come our way from the release of Red Lights, send them our way.
Simple as that. We hope to see you far and wide, and of course, more and more music, but starting with Red Lights on January 24th. Connor, a couple more minutes of your time. This is Ozzy Osbourne, and in his head are questions of anything and everything, including many bands and artist submissions that we've spoken to over the years. What I do now is I pull some out at random and ask you. Yeah.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, cool. Right, we start with what is the best dessert?
Oh, banoffee pie.
Banoffee pie. Okay. So creamy. Oh,
That's
all
what everyone
right.
says as well. My partner can't have it because it's too much cream, and I'm just like, it's the best.
Fair enough. Have you ever had a nickname? And if so, what is it?
I had a nickname, but it was forced. A funny story. One of my friends was like, "We don't have a nickname for you, Connor. What can we give you?" And I just went, "Si, senor." Not as in like that's my nickname, but they were like, "Right, that's it. Your nickname's now Spanish." And then that developed to Spanny, and then no one ever calls it me, but me and my small group of friends there call me Spanish every now and then. So,
Okay, so it still comes up.
every now and again.
Oh wow, that's fabulous. Okay, what is something you own that another person might think is a little strange? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
wow, you
no.
got Mjolnir. Can't even say it. Thor's hammer. Not the real thing, obviously.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm worthy.
Very, very cool. Okay. Would you say you're an emotional person?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I find out that the last bit of my banoffee pie is gone, I start crying. It's not fair. No, I am very emotional. I like to feel a lot. I think
Yeah.
emotions are like important. So yeah, I am a very emotional person, unfortunately.
You're happy enough to open up about that?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm always happy to open up about anything. Yeah, I mean, feelings themselves. Like a lot of our songs come from
Yeah.
deep feelings. So it's one of those. Everyone goes through hurt. Everyone goes through happiness. Everyone goes through joy. I mean, it's such a big spectrum. It's just nice to feel it, isn't it? If you're not feeling your emotions, then are you human?
It, it is, it is. It's just not always so easy for many, many people.
No.
So I'm always intrigued to sort of see like how people how comfortable they are when I say that and how comfortable they are opening up about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin, the guitarist and vocalist of the Irish Thrashers Crossfire asks, is there a drink, alcoholic drink that is, that if you smell takes you back to just being very sick? You know, one of those times.
Whiskey. Yeah.
Oh.
I think when I was 18, went all
Mm.
inclusive holiday to Egypt with my family. I think it was the last one I did with the family. I started throwing back the whiskies at about like 10 o'clock in the morning. Decided it was a great idea to get in the pool as well at the same time. Whew, not great.
Oh, so sorry that happened. Oh. What is something that never fails to make you smile?
Oh, my dog and my partner.
Yeah.
Whenever I walk through that door, the dog's always jumping all over me. He's sat outside this door now waiting. I didn't want to let him in because he makes a racket. So, but then as well, my partner as well. When I see them both, you know, I know my day's good when I see them both.
Ah, that's fabulous. Are you more of a dog or cat person? Would you, because
Dog.
you own a dog?
Yeah, dog every day.
Yeah.
Love cats. Don't get me wrong; they are beautiful little creatures, but I do also feel like they can't play as well as dogs. I think like sometimes they might take it a little bit too serious and be like, get off. Whereas a dog, he'll just be like, let's keep going.
Yeah, I love dogs, but I couldn't really take care of one. Like it would be home, my wife and what I do for jobs, and like sometimes no one's home for like 14 hours, if not longer. It would be unfair. So we
Yeah.
have two cats, which are basically incredibly
Self-sufficient
self-sufficient.
cats, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
self-sufficient.
yeah. Okay, what is a song that will always get you in the pit?
Oh God, this is a tricky one. Well, I'm a massive Don Broco fan, so
Mm,
got to pretty much say Pug Workout from Don Broco. I mean, I know they don't
it's-
really play it that much anymore. They just do a
yeah,
snippet every now and then, but that song just gets me going every time.
it's a good song. It's a good song.
I love the video more than anything.
Yeah,
They're on
okay.
a yeah. If you've not seen it, they're on because it's a really old video. I think they filmed it on a phone, but it's they're in like a little park. It's on swings. It's hilarious.
Okay, what is a dream holiday destination for you?
um, holiday destination. Oh, that's a tough one.
Hmm.
Um, somewhere that's not the UK, I suppose. No, anywhere nice and hot. Then again, saying that, I like cold weathers too. Um, ideal weather for me, if I'm going to put that into perspective, is I love it when it's
Yeah.
blue skies, cold and icy.
Ooh.
That's it. Just reminds me back of like when I used to play football on Sunday mornings.
Oh God.
So like anything like that. So like maybe like the Scandinavian countries when they're in the winter.
Mm.
That could be a good idea. I've never been that way before, so
That's immediately what I think of. Yeah, that, like Iceland, maybe those kind of places. But Iceland's
Yeah.
probably quite too cold, isn't it? Snow really more than ice. I don't know. Never been there.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, I could definitely put something down for them.
Okay, and last but not least, what is something that you would like to understand better?
My dog.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sometimes,
Communicate with him.
yeah, yeah. So sometimes I'll just be sat there and he'll be looking at me, and I think, I want to know what's going on in your head. I want to know what you're thinking. Or I'll be playing with him and I'll have his ball and then I'll put it under a blanket and I'll squeak it and then he'll go the other direction. Or do you know when you do that and you pretend to throw it and he goes running the other way? I would love to know what he's thinking in the moments where he turns and looks at you and says, I can't find it. Do you know what I mean? I want to know what he's thinking. Like, do you have it? Did you throw it? Where's it gone? Did you see that? I wish that's what he was thinking. I want to know what he's thinking.
Isn't it funny that we always kind of think like, well, dogs will be whatever they're thinking, it's going to be something kind of cute and silly and goofy side to a degree. What we don't want to know is actually they're as evil, if not more evil than cats and really thinking sinister thoughts.
He's just looking at me going, I'm going to kill you if you do that again.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right. Red Light, of course, January 24th, it is the new single and it is out then. 2025 looks and sounds like it's going to be incredible. Of course, the show on the 31st at Manchester. That's the Star and Garter, isn't it? If I'm correct, right? Is that right?
It's at Lion's Den. So I've never been to that venue before. It's a new one. I think it's a new one. But yeah, Lion's Den.
There it is, January 31st, as support to defences and hopefully whatever else 2025 brings you. It'll be incredible to follow. It's going to be one hell of a journey. I can't wait to see it. Connor, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Oh, no, thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me along. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.